Okay, top of the morning, everybody. Welcome to Cowboys, Trailers, and Ranches. I'm Jimbo.
And I'm Barry.
That's Barry. Is it I always say that? Because probably I wanted to make sure everybody knows that that's
Barry.
Barry.
I think you like saying my name.
Barry. Barry.
Don't even
Barry
start.
Oh, what? I'll tell you what. This is a cool setting we've been on so far.
It is.
This is the die for out here.
Oh shit! Here we go.
And you know more.
Hey, we got
a healer in the house.
Just had a little free.
Right on. We got a healer in the house. That's good stuff.
Now this place is pretty. It's very unique. It's
and a dying breed.
Yeah. I mean, when you say last of a dying breed, that's kind of what this place replicates. And so
yeah, we're gonna have fun today.
Yeah,
this is gonna be a little history lesson, kids. And we're talking about the last ranch, the last property, the last ranch in New Braunfels, Texas.
And I mean, yeah, it's not on the outside. This is in town, right next to the high school, middle school. I saw my son's middle school just over the hill there on this.
There's housing. You can't see it, y'all, but there's housing all around. When you're hearing guys putting on roofs right now. You're talking. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, you look around and you've got hill country in the background, like y'all may be able to see, and then on this side, on the south side, it's nothing but housing.
Yeah.
And this was what, 2,400 acres?
2,400 is what.
And you've been on it quite a few times. Right?
I've been on here a few times, been lost on it a few times before.
And then
before all the street signs could show me the way now. So
you rode fence. You rode fence.
I had to ride fence because I couldn't find my way back.
His sons.
I found the fence line, started making my way.
And that over there looks like a little bit of a housing development right now.
Yeah, right next to the middle school. It's nice.
So y'all in for a treat. Y'all in for a little history. Y'all gonna meet Ronnie HAEKER here in a little bit, and he's gonna tell you some stuff that you've never heard before. Yeah. I guarantee I've heard it before, so I'm looking forward to this.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. And like I said, it's a pretty cool gig, man. This is the best one we've had so far.
Yes.
So before we get started, we're going to take a minute and we're going to reach out to our sponsors, Ranch Texas in the house. Shout out to Rodeo Rigs in Montana. And we're going to Big Red 69 Cattle Company. Welcome to the show.
Ron, we'll have to tell Ronnie about that one.
We'll tell about that new sponsor. He's going to dig that. Hey, so we've got a couple more coming on. Yeah. We're talking to. Hopefully by next week we'll have them on board. But on that same note, we're growing this thing probably a little bit faster than even old Barry and I.
Yeah, and what we anticipated, huh?
So evidently there might be one or two people that like this. So with that in mind, as we grow this thing, more sponsors are welcome to come on board. And so if you've got any ideas about a sponsorship that you want to talk to us about, we're all ears.
Yeah.
I think. Right?
Oh yeah,
we're all ears.
We're willing to entertain all.
Come on, join the party. Join the party. It's gonna be yeah, exactly. Hey, by the way, Pendleton in the house. By the way, Swanky Badger in the house. Look at that. Good. We got it filled this time. And we got the old Jimbo and Barry glasses filled. So we're gonna have a good time today, kids. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna do some shout outs a little bit different today. Okay. And I'm gonna ask you if there's anybody. We've been getting some really cool comments coming back. God bless y'all. I mean, you really are making a couple of boys feel good with your comments. Just today I'm gonna reach out. We are gonna reach out to people that are listeners that we know that have been reaching out and love it. They love what we're doing and they don't want it to go away, so keep doing it. So I'm gonna reach out to a mutual friend of ours, Miss Sherry Robertson in Kansas. Sherry, she's been wonderful, great friend, great customer.
Yeah, great customer.
And now she's a listener. So thank you, Miss Sherry. Another personal friend of mine, I call her Mom, Miss Sherry Winter, back in the great state of Iowa. Thank you so much for all your support, all your texts, all your Instagrams. Much. Thank you to you and Dad. I call them Mom and Dad. Yeah. Old trailer dealers. Trailer dealers. So I want to thank you, Miss Tana and Dirk Harris in Wyoming, customers of mine that have now become the best of friends. Absolute salt of the earth, great gold people. They just reached out. They love what we're doing. We're gonna reward you with some stuff that you'll be able to proudly. Yep. So thank you, Ton and Dirk, for that. Anybody else that you want to shout out to?
I got to do my usual shout outs to my boys. So give up Burke boys. Thank you guys for always supporting and watching, and they've sure been giving their advice here lately on what we should do, shouldn't do. Yeah. And if you know both of them, Bray and Bo, they're both gonna have two separate ideas. One's going to be a little more straight and narrow. The one's
you know what, boys, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Because 9 and 12 years old with some input already.
It's nice. It's pretty neat. Yeah.
That is pretty cool. One more shout out to our social media director who is killing it. I will say it every day. She does an absolute off the chain job at getting videos and reels, keeping us to somewhat in line.
Yeah. That's a full-time job in itself.
That's even possible. So anyway, those are the shout outs we want to do for today. We got a really cool show. So we're gonna jump right into it because there's a lot of history. So if we can welcome Mr.
Ronnie
HAEKER to the show.
He's so for y'all that don't know, Ronnie and I have had a very good friendship. Trying to think how many years now. Here we'll get into
We'll let him talk about it.
Hey, Ronnie
HAEKER. Hey, good to meet you,
yes,
sir. Thank you, man.
Here.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So go ahead, y'all. How y'all?
I guess we met probably back in 2009.
Yeah, over at Barry Jersey's.
Rope and
steers.
Yeah, that's when we first met. So
right.
And for y'all that don't, Ronnie has been one of my very, very best friends that I could since I moved down here.
Sorry about that.
Here we go.
I feel the same.
Yeah, we're gonna get all emotional on here. He didn't know that, but no, it's Ronnie's been great to me and my family. And so he real quick story.
Mm-hmm.
So Ronnie, just yesterday, my son Brayson's 12 years old, and all he's ever want to do is rope calves, and I've kind of drugged my feet, I guess, and not necessarily real excited about him doing it, but he hadn't really gave me a choice. But we've been roping the sled at my house quite a bit, and Ronnie here a few weeks ago invited us over, and Bray got to rope his very first calf, live calf, and so it was a big monumental moment. So for the backstory there with Ronnie and I, he's been very instrumental in time since I've moved down here to South Texas. So
he speaks poorly. I mean, highly of it.
God, thank you.
Depends if he's drinking or not.
Yeah. He's
drinking.
He might need another beverage here.
We're fixing to see a side of Barry that we haven't seen.
No, we're not either.
I mean, y'all have it. Yeah. So tell everybody, because I am getting in on this. You know, I mean, Barry's told me, and I've looked it up. But I mean, what is the deal with this being the last piece of ranch land in New Braunfels?
Yeah, just a brief history of the ranch. It was used to be part of Landa Park, which was initially, I believe, right at 5,000 acres. And the people that currently own it, the Words, they bought it December 1941. Mr. Word told me that story that they were in San Antonio when they met with the list to sign the papers, and the next morning his dad came into the motel room and he said, "My mom said you don't look good." And he said, she said, "What's the matter?" And he threw down the paper and said that Japan declares war on the United States. Pearl Harbor.
So the very next day.
Yes.
Oh,
yes. And
that's history in itself.
It was
right there after Pearl Harbor.
Yes. And
unbelievable.
Turned out it was actually a good deal because the Words were in the construction business, and they built the airport at Corpus Christi, the naval station down there.
Wow.
So they were able to, I guess, did their part for the war effort, so to speak. But it enabled them to buy the ranch. You know. Yeah.
Wow. And it was 2,400 acres.
2,400 acres.
2,400
yes,
acres.
Yeah, that's whenever they got it. Yes, sir.
And now it's down to
about 1,600 with the development.
And they're just tearing it up.
Well,
they're just tearing it up. I mean, y'all can't see it, but I mean, there's scrapers, dozers going everywhere.
We're roping right in some neighborhood's backyard.
Yeah.
So
we're in the center of the initial 2,400, but we're around it now.
I think that might be PETA right there. So we're in for a world of shit, boys.
So Ronnie, how long have you been with the ranch?
I started April 7th, 1979. So I think 43 years I've been here.
God, that's more in your timeline.
I thought we discussed you're about 12 years older than me, sir. I thought we did. I don't know. So
this being a topic of every episode.
We can't get away from it.
No.
We can't get away from it. So tell me, like, go back your first day here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so when you first hired onto this place, what was it?
My first day here, I hauled 500 bales of hay and put them
Put it
all
up
in
in the
this.
mouth.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I guess they were going to test me.
Yes.
We didn't have any help. It was all day chore. Anyway, I was a lot younger man then, but I got it all done. And you know where it comes from out there on 306 where the Coleman plant was?
Yeah.
They baled that hay out there, and that's where we hauled it.
Really?
Yeah, hauled it over here. Yeah.
Holy
They
smokes.
loaded it, the people that baled it, but I unloaded it all up in that barn. Yeah.
First day.
Yeah, yeah.
First day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All
Get your feet.
Obviously, folks can't see. I mean, it's just a loft.
Yeah,
It's
backed up that loft door
Yeah.
right there.
It's a hay
Start
mow.
throwing
We
it
call
in.
we call it a hay mow.
Yep.
They'll call
How
it
many? What?
hay mow.
Hey, Mal.
Mow. M-O-W.
M-O-W.
Did you hear me?
I did.
M-O-W.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. Y'all call it loud, but yeah. So anyway,
I'm
So-
an Okie.
yeah, that explains that explains so much. So much.
You take
So-
a break?
Yeah, we can take
Okay.
it. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a cat.
No,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
good.
absolutely.
No, we can
So,
edit this.
This is all right, man, because this is what happens, right? This is work in action. This is work. So while Ronnie's on the phone, tell me, because you used to day work out here, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you told me the fence line that's now the school where we're racing his son's at. He used to ride fence line. You ride fence over there.
Yeah, we would. I mean, it's pretty brush out here when we just happen to gather cattle and push them up here to the working pens. And it was my very first day out here. And so I literally had no clue where I'm going. Like Ronnie, to get to where we started from, he hauled us over there in a truck and trailer, and we got out on the back of this, this ranch and started pushing up that we could. And obviously I was the last one to make it back up here to the pens. I had no clue where I was going.
So you hadn't been out there at all. He just
Ever.
sent you out.
No.
Right?
Several
Blind.
of us, right? Yeah,
Right.
no.
There you go.
Just start
Hey.
pushing them up.
Go that way.
Start heading this way.
Start pushing them out. You'll find them.
You'll find it.
You'll
You'll find
find
it.
it.
Just start
That's
pushing what you can. And I really can't. I'm going to go ahead and probably tell myself I don't remember for a fact if I didn't show up with any. So I would like to think I did. I think at this point,
Now's your time to lie.
I think at this point,
Now's your time to go ahead.
Ronnie and our buddies was just happy that I made it because now it's a big story
That's awesome,
because they could see me riding fence line. 'Cause I had no clue where I was at. I was just riding fence line trying to make it back up here.
That's
So
freaking cool.
yeah, and that was shoot.
So
that was
y'all
back
can't see it, but when we got here today, Barry made a point to take
Yeah,
me
you
back to the vat,
in-
to the old dipping vat back here.
Yeah.
And if y'all haven't seen one, I wish I could show you a picture, but I mean, they slide in and come out, and a lot of people haven't. A lot of people don't know what a dipping vat is.
No, so is that something that is still used quite a bit?
I don't
Would
think
you
so.
say
I
on many working ranches? I think that's kind of one of those things. It's kind of going.
Yeah,
I
maybe
haven't seen one
down
at all.
south, where they still have a problem with the ticks.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
forth down there, they may still dip them, but
When
as
did
far
y'all
as
stop using it?
I 10 years ago.
I was gonna say I
probably.
was here whenever
Looks a little mucky.
still
Yeah.
Looks a little mucky. It hadn't been used
still
in a while.
using, but I didn't know how long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we quit running as many cattle, and we just started spraying them instead. And it kind of became cost prohibitive to keep the VAT charged with the cost of the product that we used in.
Sure. Right on.
So it was easier to just spray them.
Right on.
That's what we did.
So 2,400 acres is getting chopped up. If y'all don't know what's going on in the agriculture world in Central Texas and the ranch world, my wife and I are farm and ranch real estate. We're on a lot of different ranches, and what's happening is a lot of these generational ranches that have been in the family for years, like we talked about earlier, the kids don't want it. I mean, it's getting handed down to the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want it. They just want the money. All this land developed, good ranch land, good grassland, good cow land, and developed like you see right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a shame. It's a shame. I mean, it's a shame. I mean, Central Texas is going to be nothing but houses,
I mean,
Houses,
residentials, tech, businesses. I mean, it's getting gone.
That's it.
Ranch land's getting gone.
That's right.
What's your
Right.
feeling?
I think you're absolutely right. I think it may be too late, but one day they're going to wake up and go, what are we going to do for food? The country that,
100%.
you know,
100%.
the good farmlands getting all developed, like east of New Braunfels here, it's just all chopped up in houses. Here, the hill country where it was, sheep and goat and cattle country, it's all developments and subdivisions. So it is going by the wayside. Eventually, I think once we realize that, it may be too late.
Yes.
And food, beef, all these things, I don't think we'll ever see them cheap again, because it's just harder and harder to,
Supply and demand.
supply and demand.
Supply and
right?
demand.
And it's hard. They've made it harder on the cattlemen, supplying them, raising them.
Right.
With, I know there's all sorts of regulations when it comes to beef, and
The bottom
The
line.
facts
Bottom
and-
line's too
yeah.
high. I mean, the bottom line's getting where
Yeah.
you're trading dollars.
Yeah. Costs are just ridiculous.
Right, exactly.
And we haven't had any cooperation from the weather. We've been kind of in a 3 or 4 year drought, maybe some places even longer. Cost of feed is, it's at an all time high. So
Mhm.
and, unfortunately, cattle aren't bringing $5 a pound
No.
like they need to. Right. So anyway,
not for the cattlemen that's raising them.
right. That's right.
And that's where, when it comes to being a cattleman and a rancher, the majority of people don't understand what it takes
Zero.
to be able to raise cattle and to do that, and all the equipment and everything that you've got involved to do it, the cost of that, and then your time. You don't get vacations.
Right.
7 days.
You kind of live with them.
I mean, that's,
Yeah.
'cause-
7 days a week.
'cause you can't, you've got so much responsibilities to where most people have a 9 to 5
Yeah,
job or
5
whatever
o'clock,
it is,
you're off.
right? You're off, and you've got Saturday and Sunday off to lay around. Well,
Yeah.
when you're doing what you do,
Mhm.
it doesn't end. It ends when the day's over.
Yeah.
There is no,
And that may be well after dark.
Yeah.
You work Christmas, you
Yeah.
work New Year's. Even if you're, physically out there getting after it, you still have to check things. Things have to be checked.
one of the things that what amazed me, so like coming from Ponca City, we don't have a cactus issue. And so the one thing that I've learned here in Texas,
Really? Northern Oklahoma
I
doesn't
know,
have cactus.
right there, South Kansas, there's no
I'll
cactus
be damned.
issue up here, right? Only thing that would stick me was the damn sandburrs, whatever, walking around out, and that was it. That's all I had to worry about. But like when
That's what
coming
got
down
Lori.
here,
That's what got Lori too.
hello, Lori.
Hello, Lori.
Is everything down here, seemingly every species of plants is going to hurt you. Every species of animals is trying to bite you, sting you, maim you.
Welcome to the hill country.
I mean, yeah,
Welcome to the hill
so
country.
what gets me, so
South Texas.
I would like you to touch on this, and this just goes back to taking care of these cattle and trying to provide for them in a drought
Mhm.
of burning pear.
Yeah.
So if you could explain to our audience on what burning pear and what all that entails and what that is.
We have a pickup with a 300-gallon propane tank on the back with 2 hoses that were 60 foot long with like a flamethrower on the end of each one. And we would drive down the roads, and you burn the thorns off of the cactus. And the cattle eat them, and they do really good on them. It cleans up a pasture too, meaning, you kill a lot of the small brush, with that fire on it. And like I said, the cattle, they do great, and it's gotten us out of some jams before in the past. Unfortunately, though, right now, the cost of propane is too high to physically burn cactus.
Are you kidding me?
No,
oh, God. I know, you can imagine. Yeah, well, it's funny to hear him say that, right? Because you don't think of that.
No,
well, crap. We can't burn cactus today.
Propane.
Can't afford it.
Propane. Yeah. And the other thing, as time goes on, is the labor. It's not a real glamorous job hanging on the end of a pear burner for 6 or 7 hours a day.
You mean you don't have a lot of guys signing up?
Yeah,
it's not Yellowstone.
Yeah, it's not Yellowstone. right.
I haven't seen them have to burn. They need to do an episode on burning pear down here to South Texas.
Exactly.
South Texas.
That's reality.
Not in Bozeman, Montana.
Not in Bozeman, Montana.
Right.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
and
good
like burning pear thing too, the cattle get real aggressive. You got to make sure they don't get tangled up in the hose and jerk the hose out of your hand and pull the hose off of the tank. And it's there's a lot of things. And plus
I was going to say, yeah, you got snakes, right?
Burning out snakes coming out of there. Of course, you can toast one up pretty quick with one of those pear burners.
My God, I can't. Yeah. Snake boots.
Yeah.
Snake boots, kid.
See, that just the whole.
Yeah.
Can't imagine having a whole lot of guys saying, "Yeah, pick me."
Oh yeah,
I'll do it.
Hey,
spend all that. So, how long? Getting on that subject, how long would you spend? I mean, how long could you spend just doing nothing but burning?
We used to, when we had, I think at that time we had like 150 mama cows here. We'd burn 6 to 8 hours every other day. Yeah, and that kept them full and kept them in good shape.
Yeah,
we feed a little hay. That's what got us through.
Right.
Sure. But the cattle, they do, like I said, they do good on it. It makes them extremely gentle because usually they're real hungry when you're burning pear. Yeah.
So in Central and South Texas, the heat's not a big deal. It's not a big deal on either side, whether you're burning or you're getting it from the sun.
Yeah.
So hey, so how many at one time? How many pairs? How many cows did you run at this ranch?
When I moved here, we had 178 mama cows on this place, 2,400 acres.
Okay.
It rained a lot more back then, though. I can remember the early 80s. Some summers, hell, you couldn't work cattle. It was wet all the time. You couldn't dip because we'd get thunderstorms in the afternoon. The weather, in my opinion, has really changed, and it's obvious. We just don't have the grass, even before the development that we used to have.
Right on.
Yeah,
So take that number, Ronnie. Now, even if you had the 24 back, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many pairs could you run today?
100,
Okay.
probably. Yeah.
So
with
there
the
you go.
Weather.
There you go.
Is, yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
That'll give you guys an idea.
That's a big difference.
Yes, sir.
Oh my
Yes, it
gosh,
is.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's almost.
The weather's been up. It's just a
50%,
factor.
almost
It's a
50%.
big factor. Grass was a lot more plentiful because it just rained more.
Right.
And things were more seasonal than now. It's just like, we don't know what.
We don't know.
What are we sitting here?
No cattle deal.
No, that's my brother.
This is real.
Yeah. They're alive, yeah.
This is real.
So when did you notice the weather kind of starting to, like, thinking back or looking back?
I'm going to say 12 to 15 years ago, it was noticeable that our summers were getting warmer and drier. And then we'd have one year when it was good. You can edit all this out. Right?
We might leave it in.
Okay, then I need to take this one. I'll be back.
Oh no, we're leaving this. This is
man.
good, man. This is good. This is real, dude. This is what happens, right?
Hey, go ahead and tell him what we're doing.
Working ranch, man.
Oh,
no,
man,
that's a good dude.
Awesome,
Man,
man.
he's a good dude. I could sit and listen to stories, and I'm sure he's
great.
got one or two, and I'm sure you two have got one or two.
We got a few,
Each
man.
got one or two.
So I'll tell you. So I asked him about the weather. He's talking about it not being seasonal, and I feel like it's half-assed my fault. When I moved down here in 2009, I'm trying to think. Yeah, see, I tore my knee up, and wasn't able to rope. Well, as I was kind of healing back and being able to start roping again instead of I was team roping a little bit. But that summer in 2009, I thought I had moved to hell. That summer was
threw you right to the
oh
wolves.
my, hey, it was 65 straight days down here. I want to say 65. It was some
of 100
of 100 plus degrees.
That's
And I
that's
what do you-
believable. That's believable.
Oh, I was like, I thought you
believable.
were getting ready to tell me that wasn't bad.
No, that's
I mean,
believable.
my God, that's awful.
That's believable.
And I mean,
Pushback.
yeah, well, yeah.
I mean,
you know,
right?
we were roping like he had mentioned Barry Jarzewski, though. We was breaking his ears, and we'd start at 7 o'clock in the morning, and by noon, I mean, he's about done, because it was so daggum hot.
Absolutely.
And
That's why you get started
early
at
down here.
before daylight,
Yeah.
right? When it's dark.
Yeah, and that is especially in the summertime down here in this area. Yeah, anybody that's farming, ranching, it starts as the sun's coming up or a little before if you can, because of the
Welcome
heat
back,
factor.
Ronnie.
Hey,
Glad you could join.
Welcome back to the show, Ronnie.
I'm a busy
Give
fella.
everybody a big hand for Ronnie.
He's a bin man.
Right. Keeping America fed.
Woo! Come on, you need your own bumper sticker.
My girlfriend made me that HAEKER Cattle Company 24/7, 365 a year, running an empire, feeding a nation.
Straight up cowboy. Straight up cowboy.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so we was talking. We'll get off on the brush burner, the
Pear
Okay.
burning.
the pear burning.
Mhm.
What do you? I mean, where do you see, in your opinion, as you've been in it a minute, where do you see ranching going in the future?
I hate to say it, but I don't see it going good, in my opinion. It's just the simple fact that
It's a dying breed.
it's a dying breed.
Right.
You know, the country's
That's
not.
I don't
it
even like
does.
it.
Yeah,
hate
I know.
to hear that.
I say this a lot of times with guys my age, and they agree that we're glad we lived and got to do what we did when we did, because I don't think it's going to be there.
You'll never see it again.
Right.
I don't feel like it's probably going to be there for my boys.
Right.
And,
My grandkids. the same way.
right. I
Yeah.
mean, and mine want. That's all. That's all they want to be is cowboys.
That's it.
And-
Be a cowboy today, because you may not be able to be in 10 years.
Yeah, I don't
mean,
even know
serious,
what.
right?
Yeah, I don't even know what that picture looks like as being a cowboy would be.
Yeah.
In 20 years.
20 years for sure.
I mean,
would
there's
say
no
that, yeah.
idea what it's going to look like.
You know, as we're sitting here talking about where this thing is going, do you think, because you're seeing it, you're hearing it, is it going to keep going west? Because, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody now, if you're going to get out of this, you got to go west, right? For the most part. Do you think it's going to keep going west and keep building out west where there is no ranch land at all, no cows, even in West Texas anymore?
Well, I think it may go somewhat that direction, but the country's so rough. Farmers tell me all the good the good stuff, it's all getting cut up around Texas right here now. And the same way with the cattle country. Close to the native grass,
Right.
It's full of houses.
Full
now.
houses,
Yeah.
right. Yep.
Yeah, I have friends over east here around Lexington, Texas, that have leased 4,000 and 5,000 acres for 25, 30 years, and they're down to 200 now. He said, because it's the same scenario. The kids are getting the country. They don't want to have anything to do with it. Sell it. It gets subdivided, and that's that.
But I don't understand that. How? I mean,
Yes.
I guess as far as, I don't know, like because it's a vast majority of these ranch owners, their kids want nothing to do.
Yeah. So
Is it?
where do they go with it? I mean,
Well,
they don't have any place to go with it, right? So
well,
they get this in their ear about this,
I know
and
that's the.
they don't have anything else to do, right?
Right.
So
Yes, sir.
when
It's
you're
the
talking
instant
about,
gratification,
Yeah, to an extent.
For them.
yeah,
right? I guess when you've got
because
that
it's
kinda-
unfortunate the generations now can't see the forest for the trees. They can't see what we grew up in,
Mhm.
right? They
Mhm.
can't see that.
Right.
You're right. It's instant gratification. What can I get now in my hand so I can use what I can spend it, I can do what I want with it, right?
Sure.
They have no idea, as you guys know. They have no idea about the cowboy culture, about cattle, about being a cattleman, about about agriculture, nothing, right? I mean, that's
A lot of
dime breed, unfortunately.
Yep.
It just sucks.
Yeah, sure.
It just
And do you
sucks.
think the ranch, like as far as I don't know if this is a deeper thought, but they don't think when they're selling their ranch off and developing it. I wonder if they're thinking, well, it's just one ranch. It's not going to really. My ranch isn't going to be a determining factor on beef production and farming production,
I
or do
don't,
they just probably not give it?
I don't think they give it that much thought. That's just my opinion.
It's more of a
Yeah, like you said, instant gratification.
month.
The other thing is too, I'm sure a lot of them have grown up with their parents trying to make a living, and it's hard work. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
And
they go, man, they work their ass off all their life and really don't have much other than the land.
That's true.
So
That's a good point.
you know what?
That's a
I'm
good.
out.
That's,
Exactly.
that's a good point.
And
They grew up around it,
Mhm.
and they saw the struggle, and they're like,
Yep.
I don't want no part of it.
And
right?
we do all as parents work our butts off to provide our kids with a better
Future and
future in
livelihood,
life
right.
than what we had
Mhm.
growing up, and don't necessarily.
Yeah.
I'm very guilty of this,
Oh.
of
I'm saying,
not wanting my boys to have the same,
Same-
hardships
Right.
that I had growing up.
Mhm.
Even though I wouldn't take nothing, I wouldn't change nothing.
Yeah.
But I know how hard it was as a struggle, and so I bust my butt to try to make
But-
it to where they don't.
and that's a good point. As you say that, I think we're all guilty of it. But guess what makes a man? Guess what makes a person?
It's
Struggle.
that hard
It's
work.
hard work and the struggle.
Yes,
right?
sir.
You know that
Absolutely.
more than the three of us sitting
Well,
here together,
I mean,
right? I mean,
Yeah, you got to, earn your way, earn your keep, and go forward.
and
you
the
know?
and the struggle,
Yeah.
right? And the struggle. That's what makes you successful.
So as far as I'm getting depressed, man.
Oh, come on now.
I mean, let's get.
Come on now. Come
Well,
on.
let's get.
It's all good. We're here.
We're in the here and now.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
All
right.
right,
That's
so
right.
here now.
We're
So
gonna enjoy
tell
it.
us about more of your cattle company now, as far as what you do. Since it's less of the cow calf pair like that
Yeah, you
stuff.
run
Right.
run a
Tell us
different
about
deal.
what
We do. We buy sale barn cattle, small roping calves, 125 to 160 pounds, and we precondition them. We get them, the term is straightened out, and we put on ropings. We lease them to rodeos and use them as long as we can till they get too big, and then a lot of them go to team penners and ranch sortings, that type thing. And then when they're through with them, we turn them out on grass. And depending on the market, there was a while, 2017 through like 2019, 2020, we fed all of our cattle in the Panhandle. We fed some in South Texas and did extremely well. But that has not been the case the last few years with the high price of corn and so forth.
Right.
So we sell a lot of cattle as just stocker calves now, go on grass for send them to somebody else.
Then
They'll buy them.
Let
load them
them-
up. Load them up and
Exactly.
onto the sale barn.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you seen? So I get the reports from a lot of the sale barns around the country, and Oklahoma City, one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers that have been going through Oklahoma City and any, but the bigger ones are just astronomical.
Yes. Well, the
Astronomical.
market is really, really good right now. Cattle are high. It's a good time. Although that being said, if you look at what they're bringing compared to your input costs, fertilizer, the lack of rain, feed costs, you're still not getting rich doing it.
Right.
You're making a little
Right.
money, but
Right.
not
Yep.
what you should be making.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And I think there you go back to these ranchers, the families wanting to give their, land to the kids. These kids, a lot of them are smart, obviously, right? And they're like, it just don't add up,
Mhm.
right? So
Right.
there's some of it too, right?
Yep.
There's unfortunately, it's so. You said the inputs are so much nowadays in the cattle business that it don't.
Right.
I mean, you're trading dollars.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing that would, and it's so simple, but it's so hard, is if we could get back to our normal rainfall patterns, where we were getting some help from Mother Nature. A man that was very successful in the cattle feeding business down south of San Antonio one time had said, I asked him, I said, man, how are you making money at this? And he said, green grass and rain.
Yeah.
There
you go.
And
That's
There you go.
it. Yeah.
There you
Green
go.
grass and rain. Very
There you
simple, but very
Yeah.
to the point.
And you can't, nobody's got control
Right.
of it, right?
Exactly.
Some maybe China.
Yeah. Let's
Here
remember
we
them.
Here we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
I threw that out there.
No.
Just once.
Mute. Where's my mute button? I need a mute button.
There's one. There's one in every bunch.
He's mine.
Okay, onward and upward. Onward and upward.
So I gotta bring up something. So I know there's been
Story?
well, maybe.
We got to get one story.
We got-
Gotta have one. I don't know.
I've-
I know you two got
I've
one.
heard. I don't know this to be, fact, but I know that this ranch, I think, butts up to a river.
Yeah, the
that-
Guadalupe.
The Guadalupe
western
River.
boundary.
Okay. So,
Oh, I kind of got a little sniff of this.
Ronnie's an entrepreneur.
I know where this is going.
Yes.
Look,
One good story.
So, unless I need to keep going, or would you like to tell everybody about your entrepreneurship about the river? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, I love this.
before I really delved off deep in the cattle business, I was in the fast food business. So the property here, we had a nice riverfront dock, and there was just gobs of people would float down the river from Canyon Lake into New Braunfels, and it was about an 8-hour tube trip on the Guadalupe. And they really partook of beverages, alcoholic beverages, and hardly any of them brought food. And we actually had a party down there one day, and some guys came up and asked us if we'd sell them some of that barbecue. Said, no. Said, we're keeping it, we're for our guests here and so forth. Well, as the party progressed, we had some left over. We had more people floating up there. So there launched my idea about selling chicken quarters. Damn it, not chicken, but chicken and sausage wraps on the river. And we'd just have them float in. We'd put it in a flour tortilla and give them their sausage wrap or their chicken quarter. And I'll never forget one day a lady asked me, she said, "Sir, I need some napkins." And I said, "Lady, you're in the river. Just put your hands in the water." Oh, okay, yeah. But it was a float in and float out kind of deal. Yeah.
Bar food.
Yeah. And
Bar food.
I can't tell all the stories.
You know where I was going with it.
I'm keeping it G right
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what?
Those were the good old days.
Yeah.
I love that. Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah,
I had
no,
to.
it's fine.
Look,
That is a great way to end this. That is a great way to end this. I knew I had a feeling you were gonna unleash that. Hey, so I'll tell you what. I hope you have all enjoyed this, because this has been a hoot for
it's
us,
been a blast.
and this has been a little bit of history lesson. So
Yeah.
this is the kind of stuff, man. I dig, and I can't thank you enough.
Shoot, I enjoyed
Thank
you. Enjoyed
you
the visit.
enough, man. This is good
Ronnie,
stuff.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff. So
Well, hell, I'm out.
okay, so let's have us.
Time to cut it.
Ronnie, you got a beer?
I'm good.
You got a beer?
I'm going to rope some calves still today. So.
Well,
What a jerk.
so
Thanks for the invite.
The fast food business isn't good anymore.
good stuff.
Oh, man.
So we're going to end on this note, and
Ron, again, thanks.
we will see y'all
Shoot,
next
Enjoy it.
Friday.
Yeah. Next
Barry?
Friday. All right.
Let's go out on this note.
All right.
Let's be memorable.
Keep it
Keep it
Western,
Western.
guys. Thank y'all.
Mm.
Thank you.
Bye.